Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 14, The Other Side. Now this episode surprisingly entertained me. Considering what it was, I didn't hate it. There wasn't too much to it. It was definitely kind of one of the filler episodes. We've had quite a bit of those. And this was one of those ones. It was kind of like the Terra episode where it's going to lead to something, especially with the next episode coming up. They do end up going back to the seaside and everything. But this is kind of the same thing in that vein. I felt I enjoyed this a lot better because it was like, at least we're getting some good stuff from Rosita for once in like the whole effing season. She's not being an a-hole because she's just been getting on my nerves lately. So I was like, at least she's talking to Sasha. She explains, how she learned stuff in the past and how she would kind of just be with guys and then move on because they weren't really that great anyway. But she would learn these good lessons, and then when she got better than them, she would just move on and get a new lesson from someone else. And why she was so upset at Sasha and was like, I kind of felt like I hated you, but it was really me being upset that Abraham figured his stuff out before I did. It's like the first time a guy did it before she was able to do it, and he was able to kind of move on before she was able to. So I'm like, okay, that whole conversation they have, I like that. I thought that was good. I enjoyed that scene where they finally get to talk with each other. They have an emotional moment and they're able to actually bond, and I don't have to hate Rosita because she's just been getting on my nerves, snapping at everybody for no good reason. So I was like, I like that. That's good. Sasha, I thought was fine. I haven't had any issues with Sasha. I felt like she was kind of the same in this episode as she has been before, where she's trying to figure stuff out logically. And I get why she did it. I wish she didn't, but I get why she had to go with Rosita, because it's like she's going to get herself killed for sure if she does go on her own. Because she was just like, I'm just going to run in and guns blazing. That's it. And, Sasha has to tell her, like, at least think about staying in a building that's like close by instead of just running in first. Like, your first plan should be to try to take him out from a distance rather than going straight in and taking him out. Sadly, that doesn't work anyway because we have the Saviors going to the hilltop and they end up taking the doctor. And this was just a sad thing. They didn't have to do it this way, but they just did it just to make it sad. And it was like, we find out that the doctor at the hilltop was actually the brother of the doctor that was with the Saviors. And I was like, they didn't need to do that. That just made it sad. It was like, wow, he was just a random doctor at first, and it really sucked that he died already because he died for no real reason. And then it just made it sadder where it's like, oh, he ends up being the brother of this doctor. So it was like, wow, that really sucks. That just makes it, an even more impactful death, even for, basically an unknown character. So I was like, wow, they just did that just to make it really sad. So the Saviors come in, they end up taking him. And so that's when Sasha and Rosita are like, well, crap, we can't just shoot from a distance. We got to go in and get this doctor to make sure that we can kind of rescue him, and then we get rid of Negan. Also, they missed their shot, too. That was really the thing. It was like they didn't have much of a choice after they missed their shot. They could have waited, but then, of course, Eugene, who, just being Eugene, I guess, he says, like, check around the buildings and stuff like that for more walkers. So they have to run in. And that's where they end up finding Eugene. And he instantaneously starts crying because he thought he was about to get killed. And it's like, hey, we're rescuing you. Let's get the heck out of here. And he decides he's not going to go. He's like, I'm not going to do that because he likes the power that he has. And so we find out that he really has decided to stick with the Saviors. And we'll see if something random actually happens. I highly doubt he has a real plan. And I kind of figured that. It was hard to tell in the beginning, but I was like, I kind of figured that he was kind of just enjoying himself. But at the same time, it's like, you never know. That's literally his whole character, is that he lies to people. So it was kind of hard to tell if he was joining them or not. He seemed to be enjoying it, of course. But, and you can enjoy something and still not, stick around with it either, too. Like, so you can still enjoy something that you're going to leave when you get the chance. But he enjoyed it, and he stayed when he had his chance. And I'm pretty sure that that's all there is to it. He's going to stay. And maybe when Negan and everyone gets killed off, he'll be like, oh, I was just kidding. I was just kidding with you guys. So we'll see what happens there. And what he decides to do in that regard. But he decides to go back in. And Sasha decides to run in on her own. And she, for whatever reason, says, like, everybody needs Rosita. I don't know. I mean, she does know a bunch of stuff. So they kind of do need her a little bit. Like, she was defusing bombs and crap. And she does know a lot of crazy weird stuff. So in a sense, Sasha definitely had a point of, like, you know how to do all this stuff, like hotwire cars and this and that. I was like, she does know a lot of random things that nobody else, knows. But Sasha decides to go in, instantly starts, with a bunch of gunfire. Because at first I'm like, okay, if she runs in, because she took the guy out with with like the silenced gun, so it was like, boom, he's out. And she runs in. I was like, okay, if we don't hear any gunfire, she's going in, and it's kind of left out in the open where there's some bit of mystery to it. And it was like she killed the first guy, and as soon as she ran in, machine guns just started going off. I was like, if she got in and was sneaking around, I'd be like, okay, at least she could possibly hide for a little bit, especially with it being late at night. A lot of people are going to be asleep. She could, has less people to worry about. Machine guns started going off, and I was like, nope, she got busted, and now it's just chaos. Like, I don't know how long she could possibly survive in the next episode. And I'm assuming that she's gonna die. And I didn't know this until I read like an article on Facebook where people are like, is Rosita gonna die or is Sasha gonna die? And a lot of people mentioned, and I didn't know this, Sasha, or the actress, Sonequa Martin Green, she's actually going to be the lead character in the new Star Trek series. And I was like, oh, well, that typically says a lot. People can act on two different shows at one time. You can act on a show and a movie, just like I can't think of her name, but the woman that plays Michonne, she's in the Black Panther film, and I'm pretty sure they've already started filming that. So, you can be in two different shows at once. You can be in a movie and a show, and like you can make it work technically. It just depends on when different shows start filming and how that stuff plays out. So you never really know. I mean, I heard that the Star Trek series started filming in January, and I don't really know when The Walking Dead films. I'm pretty sure they film during the summer, so it could totally work. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but excuse me, that's always a big thing to it. That's how we lost. I can't even think of the character's name, but Tyler James Williams, the guy who everybody hates, Chris. That's how we lost him, because he went into a new series. So that's why he left the show, and why he had like crazy gruesome death, and Glenn had to like just watch him get like ripped apart. So that is why he left the show, and we'll see how it plays out. But it was just nuts. It was a pretty crazy ending, and we'll see what the heck happens, who lives, who dies. The next episode, they're going to the seaside, so they're seemingly, it was just a big explosion. I was like, I guess they're just starting a war with them. Who knows? I mean, I guess that's just how it's playing out. So we'll see how that works. How many people live? How many people die? There's going to be a lot of people mad at Tara for revealing that location for sure. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. I'm actually excited to see how that does play out, because she told that girl that she would never tell anyone about the city, and the girl saved her life because she wanted her to survive. And of course she brought people back, like, well, they do have guns, so we should go there and get them. And of course the first thing they're going to do is just shoot, because they want to be left alone. So it is going to cause some people to die, and it will be because Tara was like, well, they do have weapons, we can take theirs, or try to get them to join us. But of course they won't do that, even though you think they would. I mean, they do have their peaceful life now, so I get why they wouldn't want to join the battle. And then you wouldn't want to give up the guns either. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this. But as far as this episode, it was fairly decent. Not too much to it, really. It was about Sasha, and it was about Rosita, and them going to complete this plan to just officially get rid of Negan. And that was pretty much it. We got like a little bit there. We do get a good scene with Daryl, where he finally, he's finally able to just look this one in the eye. He was the one that got Glenn killed, so it's like you have to look his wife and the mother of this dead man's child, and he apologizes. So we did have a pretty good moment there, and other than that, there wasn't too much to it. I'm sure it'll be huge news, even though I couldn't possibly care less. But Jesus, we find out, is actually gay in the show. I'm sure some people will just be up in arms because his name is Jesus and he's gay, and I don't care. Like, I'm pretty sure he was in the comics. I forgot that because I don't think he's really in a relationship. It's kind of just like in the show where it's like he just references that he had a boyfriend. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then I was just like, oh, okay, he's gay. And for me, it doesn't mean anything, but I'm pretty sure I can imagine there are quite a few people that are gonna like lose their minds, especially because he's supposed to be Jesus. But yeah, I'm sure that'll be some random ginormous piece of news that everybody loses their mind over, as if it makes a difference. But a good episode, fairly decent. Not, like I said, it wasn't too much that happened. They just had some good moments in it, and ultimately it's like they could have had these good moments and then just maybe got rid of all the lesser stuff and just put more important stuff in there. Maybe I don't know, see what was happening with the kingdom, or just some more important stories. It seemed like it was all like lesser stuff until it got to like the very end, and then the Sasha Rosita story was like the main thing that actually had some weight to it, because of course they were going through to get to Negan, and they actually do it. They didn't give up and then leave, because that really would have been like a filler episode where nothing happened. But their story wasn't filler. It was just that it didn't have a lot of weight until like the last like 15 minutes of the episode, and that's when it really mattered. And then everything else was just like, yeah, emotional character moments, but still nothing really happening. And we got like a little moment with Jesus where he talked with Gregory, and Gregory's just an a-hole, and I don't care. I know some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't really care about him and what he thinks, or how things are gonna play out with his character, or what he thinks, how he thinks things are gonna work out. But he's clearly just trying to do everything he can to suck up, because he doesn't want to be outed, and of course he doesn't want to die either. So we'll see where things transition with him. But as far as the episode goes, I thought it was pretty okay. I actually enjoyed the main focus, but like I said, it just didn't have any impact until literally the end of the episode, and that's why everything else kind of felt like filler. It was just a really big talky episode, and it was, especially with before Rosita and Sasha actually had like the emotional moment, it was Rosita getting on my nerves again, where she's just mad at everybody for no good reason. So it was like, that was a big chunk of the episode until like that, finally they did it, and I was like, I felt like I could just relax. I was like, finally, she's just not being mean for no good reason whatsoever. And she even explains why she was mad, really for no good reason. So I was like, it doesn't change the fact that she was snapping on everybody, because it wasn't just Sasha that she kept yelling at. So I'm like, it doesn't explain why she was mad at everybody in the freaking world. But at least there was a minute explanation, and they made up in the end, and then one of them may or may not die. Also, Rosita ends up running into Dwight at the end, and he has Daryl's crossbow, and we'll see where that goes as well. I'm very curious what they're going to do with that, and we have 2 episodes left, so I don't know. I heard it's not going to end on a cliffhanger for the season finale. It's just going to end, and then we go into next season. So I'm looking forward to what they do. As a comic reader, I know where we're headed, and I don't know, man, I can't even really think as to how certain things are going to play out in this next season, unless they do the story arc in 3 seasons, which I feel like they could if they wanted to, but I feel like they'll do 2 seasons, and next season I think is when Negan might die, and then get rid of him as the big villain. But man, if that is the case, the next season is like, you might, I don't know, just if you're prone to sadness, I don't know, you might need to like skip over all of next season, because it's going to be intense. But as far as this season goes, I am looking forward to the season finale, as well as the next week's episode, which will lead into our season finale. We'll see how that plays out. But we'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I definitely want to know how you think things are going to play out with Sasha being inside the Savior camp. She already got caught, so there's already, like I said, gunfire. Everybody's going to know that she's there. There's some sort of intruder. So where the heck is it headed? I would love to know your theories on what's about to happen with her character. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.